The name of where you're working is the least important thing.
Okay.
I mean, some people might look at it, but I mean, I think once you're doing the tasks, I saw your resume where you put the actions that you did.
Yes.
I don't think the church is going to be a deterrent for them to hire you at all.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I don't think so. Be confident, girl. You're doing the stuff.
Thank
you know
you.
It. Remember, Echo was here. What she said. All of you guys are actually already doing business analysis.
Yes.
Why are you worried? Why you feel like you're not going to get it?
Yeah.
You know it. You're actually going through this program. You are a business analyst.
Yes.
You start telling that to yourself. You are a business analyst. You are a business analyst.
Yes, we are.
You are. I want you all to say it with me. I am a business analyst.
I am a business analyst.
Thank you, Cara. You're the best.
Awesome. No, sometimes it's what you tell yourself. You tell yourself doubt.
Yes.
You tell yourself you're not confident, and that's how you manifest.
I agree.
If you know this, that you can do this, the only difference between you and the other business analysts is that they were working at their company longer than you.
Yeah,
that's true.
That is
agreed.
So,
and then the other thing I noticed, most of these companies don't even ask you a lot of questions. Most of them, they just want to see your personality. Mm-hmm. The only thing that I was asked related to business analysis was if I know how to write a user story, mm-hmm. and if I can write a case, a use case. That's it. So I'm gonna look for your videos, girl. I'm gonna watch those ones, and then on my next interview, they said they're gonna contact me on Tuesday, and if I'm being shortlisted for the next one, so I need to make sure I crack those.
Yes,
you got this. As long as you know everything you need to know about a BA, and what you don't know, it's okay. Nobody knows everything. Mm-hmm. So just make sure you're prepared. Write down your introduction, like tell me about yourself question, which everybody asks. Mm-hmm. So I prepared that. I had a script on that. And I had printed out my use cases and user stories. I just put them there because I used their job description to prepare for the interview.
Good.
And sure enough, whatever was in the job description is what they asked. So I was prepared. And I think that put me ahead. And the guy, when he asked me what I do outside of work, I told him that I volunteer in nursing homes, which is true. It is what I do. I volunteer with the Chamber of Commerce in my community. That is my way of giving back. And I shared all those. And when he asked me about my journey, how I started and how I ended up wanting to be a business analyst, I started with my events management job that I did back in Dubai. And mostly what I did is actually what BAs do. The only difference is that we didn't have any tools we were using. We just used Excel, which is still what most companies are using, PowerPoint and Word. And for shared information, we used shared drive, and then later on we integrated to Box. And that is what I said. And he seemed impressed, so I'm hoping I'll hear from him.
That's good. That's great. I'm glad you brought that up, because what I forgot to tell you guys was that they're not only looking for your core skills, as in what are you good at? Can you write stories? Can you write documents? They want to know what kind of person you are. And I think I talked about this being a culture fit. How do you fit with their culture? That's why they're asking you, what do you do outside of work? They want to see what kind of personality you have. What are the things that you do that they can say, okay, you have a depth to you, as opposed to just, oh, I'm just a person that knows only this thing. So if you're, I mean, it should be an easy question for you if you're doing things.
The other thing that I realized is that I asked them a question, and that question helped me integrate most of my answers. I asked them what they were looking for. At the very beginning, he asked me, do you have any question for me before we started the interview? And I said, yes, I would like to know the kind of person you are looking for this position. And since I had written everything down, I just had to tweak and change a few words here and there. And that really helped.
Yeah, that's a good trick.
Yes, ma'am. And the research on their company too. I did that last night and this morning. I went to their company website and I downloaded the company mission and their goals and what they do. The extra things they do, like they work with homeless people. And that's why I knew it was time for me to mention my volunteer at nursing homes, which has got nothing to do with being a BA.
No, but it's relevant to them. It may be relevant.
Yes, I realized that when I went into their website.
Because some of these companies will do not volunteer, they donate to different causes. So if it's great that they're donating to a cause that you're volunteering for, so you should show some connection there or something similar. You know, that's a good thing. The other thing I wanted to mention to you guys was always have your questions prepped for the interviewer. They'll always ask you if you have any questions. Always have a question, and you can get your question from like what Mary did, which is, you know, ask them up front what they're looking for, and by the time they finish talking to you at the end of it, you kind of, you know, make yourself what they're looking for.
Right, absolutely.
You fit your answers to what they're looking for. The other thing that you can do, which is great, is ask them about their team. You know, try to find out, you know, what's the dynamic of the team. You know, who would you report to? What kind of projects are you guys working on? What's the most immediate thing that you'd want me to start working on if I were to be employed? To show eagerness, to show that you're looking to come in and make an impact, right? So those are some of the questions that I think would be good to ask. And also, if you research the company, depending on what you find, you could pick up a question or two from the research that you did. Like I remember one time there was a company that had just done a merger, and I only knew that because I went to look at the company background. I'm like, oh, how is the merger going on? What are the challenges that you're facing? So stuff like that to show them that you put some effort into them as much as they're spending time with you to interview you, but you research them as well. And it would be nice as well if you know ahead of time who is going to interview you, to look that person up on LinkedIn. And if you can, or you may not be.
I did that.
Look them up on LinkedIn, know what they look like, and when you meet them, say, "Hi, you must be so and so." So you can tell them their name if you can manage it. I mean, don't mess their name up. That wouldn't be good. But have an idea what they look like and who they might be, and they'll correct you if there's a problem. But that would be impressive too if you know who you're going to talk to.
Yeah. So now he even told me. I asked him the how big the team will be and where do they sit in the office. I asked some silly questions, but I just wanted to know. I just wanted him to know that I am so interested. So I know that it's a company that has 280 employees, and the BAs sit next to the developers and the engineers, which makes it easy for them to communicate and all that. So, yeah.
If you could ask them a question like, what's the most urgent thing that you could help them with, you know, as soon as you start, what's the biggest pain that the company is facing by not having a BA? What's the thing that the BA would be working on first?
Right.
They tend to know this very well, right? Because that's why they're looking for a BA. They start rattle off what they want to do and all this stuff. And then now you just register all of that and make sure as you're answering it, you kind of just push that in your answers. So I hope you get this job.
Thank you.
If you don't, you just got a great experience interview.
Yes, ma'am. If I don't, it's okay. I made that piece yesterday and I stopped freaking out.
Yeah.
And even today when I was talking to him, I was super bold. And
you can be bold because you know it now, girl.
Yeah, I know.
By the time we're done with you, all of you, you're going to also have the confidence because you're going to be knowing what to do, right? So that's a great example.
I was very, 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 very bold. And he said, oh, I like the way you are confident. You should have heard me. My goodness. You would have said I have worked for 50 companies.
hey, that's how we want it. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question for you. So, sometime last week, I spoke to a recruiter, and while we were talking, from what he said about the job responsibility, it's about entry level as a business analyst, but while we got talking, then it was like they needed 4 to 5 years experience. And I asked him, like, okay, the job responsibility that you posted is all about entry level. So if you want me to have 4 to 5 years experience for entry level, is that really entry level? So I don't know what advice you can give on that kind of aspect. Like, why would they put out the job responsibility and they will be looking for, advanced or intermediate experience?
Yeah, that's kind of weird because entry level should not require experience. Right. Otherwise, it wouldn't be. Right. But it could be that if I was faced with that and I had worked before somewhere else, I said, I do have 4 or 5 years work experience, but I didn't have the title of business analyst, even though I was doing business analysis. Right? So you kind of have to turn the conversation in a positive way towards yourself. So you take it and you say, you don't even correct them that they're wrong, because that's clearly wrong. You shouldn't be asking 5 years. But you take the conversation and you find a way to make it positive for you in your benefit. Right? So you just tell them that you do have 4 to 5 years experience, in working experience, but you didn't have a title called business analyst, but you were doing business analysis. And so that's why you feel confident that you can do this entry-level job, because you have had, you know the concepts, and you can talk about all the things that the user stories, So you just start talking about what you want to talk about, really. Just take that little thing he gave you about the 5 years and just spin it in your
just spin it around for him.
Spin it around for yourself. And use every time you open your mouth, you're talking about something that's going to be benefiting to you. You take what they give you and you spin it for how it's benefiting to you.
Yeah. Thank you.